up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, The Unpopular Party, hosted by me, Malik Taylor. And today is a very special Hot Topics episode because there's a lot of stuff going on in the media, right? You know what's funny? A lot of people are saying, like, you know, it's been really slow in the celebrity space, there's not much going on, and then boom, back to back to back, you see situation after situation. And I just felt like this information was so juicy, I had to cover in a YouTube video. Normally I cover this stuff on TikTok, but I figured, you know, let's bring it to YouTube. We get tired of talking about Zeus drama all the time. Let's talk about the real drama. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you send my way. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And without further ado, let's get into the hot topics. You know, I feel like in honor of Hot Topic, you have to have tea. Shout out to Wendy. Today's tea I have is Echinacea tea with some elderberry. You know, it's been some stuff going around, and I was a little nasally. It's in my, look, it's in my teacher mug when I used to be a teacher. So DDG put his hands on Halle, yeah. And when I tell you this is a situation when it hit the media, everybody was invested. Get this, Halle Bailey has been granted a domestic violence restraining order against DDG according to TMZ. In her filing, she recalls instances of alleged physical abuse. And our friends over at TMZ, they state in the article, in the doc, she claims that things first got physical in January. They broke up in October, and Halle says DDG came to pick up their son, Halo, and she tried to start a conversation with the rapper about child visitation schedule. As she was buckling Halo into the car seat, she claimed DDG grew agitated and repeatedly said, "Get out my car, B." Oh yeah. Halle says the baby was crying and she got nervous about DDG leaving with him in such an agitated state. That's when they allegedly started wrestling, with DDG pulling her hair, slamming her face on his steering wheel, and chipping her tooth. Halle says she was in pain and crying, and although that stopped the fighting, she was still worried about Halo. So she remained in the car for the ride over to DDG's house, where she told his family about what happened. Once they told her that they would take care of the baby, she left hysterical and with bruises on her arm to accompany her chipped tooth. She attached photos of her injuries and request for a restraining order. The judge granted Halle a domestic violence restraining order, ordering DDG to stay 100 yards away, and gave permission to take nearly 18-month-old Halo to Italy, where she'll be filming a movie for 2 months. That's a lot to take in. And you know what? Here's my thought. It's a shame that this happened to Halle, and I don't really put none of this past DDG. I remember when Ruby Rose was going through this. Didn't Ruby Rose say something about DDG was putting his hands on her? Yeah. He does seem like the time when he gets agitated, he'll do something like that, and it kind of makes sense why he been doing them little tweets. I've been noticing, like, he been doing them little sad tweets, like, oh, when you make a tweet about me and just know you're talking about him. And it seems like he's been in damage control era. Now, DDG fan base is pissed at Halle. When I tell you that's a loyal fan base, they are going through all types of receipts to try to prove that Halle is lying.
I've been a little scared of the dentist, but I'm going for my regular cleaning, and also because I chipped my tooth.
The Diddy used to tell me she used to smack the shit out of him on the bed. He chilling, she smacking the shit out of him.
Online and innocent and everything, but you guys do not know. I will go to battle with my yelling, with my words, everything. And if I gotta yell or check anyone, that's what I gotta do.
Clap back or sit back. I always have to choose clap back. I'm sorry, I'm a very kind person, but if somebody pokes at me or the people that I love, it's over for you. I'm an Aries.
Never have I ever started drama with my boyfriend for no reason.
Put it down.
They even got a video of him when he found out about the news on Aiden Ross live stream, but a lot of people feel like that was calculated as well.
That can't even be real. That's the thing.
But don't even. But you remember we talked about last night.
I don't know where that even came from.
Yo, stop these fake allegations. This is a father. This is a real person. It's a good human being.
Even, but I don't.
But hey, bro, we on stream, bro.
Come on, like I gotta be.
Just don't do it.
And DDG mama even came forward and was like, I don't usually comment or say anything on the internet, even with all the negativity, the lies, and hatred towards mine. However, these accusations made me realize that I've been quiet for too long. All right, here's the thing. Can I be honest? Do I think that little girl lied? No. I don't think their relationship was perfect. I think they had a lot of cracks. But here's the thing, and let this be a reminder to all my little girls and little boys out there. Let this be a wake-up call that sometimes you gotta listen to your community. Because I remember when Halle and DDG first got together, so many people did not want Halle with DDG. They was looking at Halle like, girl, you got a lot going for yourself. Do you really want to get yourself invested with a clout chasing streamer? That's exactly what he is. It was the reason why a lot of people felt like DDG was not gonna be a good fit for Halle. They know the reputation that DDG had. They know the things that they've seen DDG involved in. They know the messed up stuff that they've seen this boy do over the years. People that care about Halle, they're looking at Halle like, you sure you wanna get involved with this? But hey, here's the thing. Halle and DDG, they told us to mind our business, okay? You know, I guess she thought it was cute until she got blinded, but Halle would be like, oh, I'm a fan of DDG. Oh, I like him. Even when as far as on Halloween, dressing up as Whitney and Bobby, which a lot of people's like, oh, that's kind of subliminal. You know the history dynamic between Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. Unfortunately, now she see what happened when Fat Me Greasy. And I don't want you to think that's me victim blaming, because I do feel bad for her and I do hate that this is a situation that she's in. But I feel like let these celebrities in the industry be a learning lesson of what not to do. You see from Keke Palmer, Kalani, Halle, they tend to get involved with these guys who are not on their level. They lay down with them and have a baby with them. Now you're stuck with them for life. And the baby's not even, what, a year, 6 months into the world, and y'all going through issues. And now you gotta shift all your attention direction because that baby didn't ask to be here. That baby priorities come first. You gotta figure out what to do because now you gotta co-parent him. You gotta co-parent with somebody who was just supposed to be in your life for 18 minutes, not 18 years. People don't understand when I say a baby changes everything. What might be cute now is totally different when the baby get here. The little stuff that he do that annoying you, it might be cute now, but the baby get here, you go through postpartum, and that little stuff that was cute is annoying you now. That little stuff that you look over now, you're not seeing, this is now the father of my child. That little stuff that, you could've, brushed away, it's now becoming really red flags because this is the person that has to be around my child, and this is the person who got 50% of say so when it comes to this child, especially when the baby is coming from an unequally yoked relationship. Halle gives me the vibe she wants to be low key. Halle gives me the vibe she wants to be out the way. That does not mesh well with a content creator who has always put his life in the forefront. Obviously, when that baby get into the world, what that he wants to show? That baby, because that's what keep the money in. And I feel like these girls, they get involved with men who don't know how to operate when their ego get bruised. DDG been showing a lot of warning signs. Remember when Halle was the Little Mermaid and he did a song talking about how he felt jealous because Halle was meshing well with her co-star? It's like, okay, but this is the man who's the co-star. This is the prince in the Little Mermaid. It's like, it's giving you jealous of your girl, you mad at your girl, you should be hyping her up. Now, academics have put some stuff about there that, oh, Halle and Brent Faiyaz is in, the crew, Bahama, whatever, because Halle did a video with her sister, they out there enjoying time. I guess people put 2 and 2 together, some pictures was out there that Brent maybe was out there, and that made him mad. But men like that, they don't understand what happened when Fat Me Greasy. Because Halle says she was, but let's just say she was out there with Brent Faiyaz. Why are you mad? The baby's protected. You out here running around with Anna Mac. You out here running around with every other streamer you get your hands on. So it's like, come on now, you can't pull that card. Can't pull that card. Say all that to say, not as an aha, rub it in your face moment, but more as a, this has to be a learning lesson for other girls and boys out there. You gotta be careful with who you procreate with. You gotta be careful with who you align yourself with. You gotta be careful with who you shed your energy with, because it could be the thing that make or break you. Halle had a phenomenal Disney career ahead of her. Disney had so much stuff lined up for her after The Little Mermaid. She had to cancel all that stuff to be a baby mama to a fragilely bruised ego man. I wish her nothing but the best. I don't think DDG can see his child right now, but look, like they used to say back in the day, a baby is here in the world now. A baby that didn't ask to be here. Court or whoever has to figure out what's best for that child, so. You know. Who wants to talk about Tory Lanez? Because they was trying to take Tory Lanez out. They was trying to get the boy out of here. Now, I don't know if you heard or not, but Tory Lanez is in jail. He's serving a 10-year jail sentence, due to the situation involving Megan Thee Stallion. And, since he's been in jail, he put an album out, but TMZ was almost about to report a crazier headline because Tory Lanez was in prison. Now, when I first heard the news, I didn't really think much of it. I was like, okay, maybe it was just like a little, or maybe like a little scuffle and they was shanking him, I didn't think nothing of it. It wasn't until TMZ followed up with an article and they said Tory Lanez was 14 times. 14 times. 1-4. In the article, according to TMZ, Tory Lanez was hospitalized in critical condition Monday after angry inmates savagely attacked him with a prison shank, with the rapper suffering collapsed lungs. Tory's team said he was stabbed 14 times, 7 times in the back, 4 times in the torso, twice in the back of his head, and once in the left side of his face. Both of his lungs collapsed and Tory was placed on a breathing tube, though he is now breathing on his own according to his camp. Tory rep says he's in pain, but he's talking normally in good spirits and deeply thankful for God for surviving, and he's thanking everyone out there who is supporting him. They was trying to take him out. They was trying to take that man out. That TMZ was supposed to be reporting Tory Lanez has been unalive at the age of however old he is. To shank someone 14 times, you had a mission. In the back of my head, man, you had a mission. You had a job. You had a job to do. Now, I recently did a segment on TMZ, in which I'll play right here.
This is one of those but for the grace of God things.
Right.
Hello, this is Malik Taylor from Memphis, Tennessee, and I feel as though with them attacking Tory Lanez and stabbing him 14 times, it goes to show you they was trying to take this man out. He has made some enemies, and they wanted to take him out, and I feel as though this is the tactic trying to take him out. If it's not the warning, it's the thing to show him within these next 10 years, never feel comfortable. And I feel, unfortunately, the next time you talk about the situation, it may be a more deadlier headline attached to it.
It can't be much more deadlier.
But yeah, like I said in that video, Tory Lanez has enemies. I think a lot of people focus on the Megan Thee Stallion situation, but no, Tory Lanez, he's a known hothead. He's known to make people mad. He's known to go off on people. Even he was moving reckless after the Megan Thee Stallion situation. The man tried to fight August Alsina. He has made some enemies on the outside. He has made some enemies on the inside. And I feel like for someone to try to attack you 14 times, they had a motive. Now, the person who did this has been revealed. It says the inmate who shanked Tory Lanez in prison has been identified as 42-year-old Santino Kaiso. Ooh, he looks like somebody I don't want to mess with. And he's already serving life in prison with the possibility of parole for a second degree, yeah. And it says his rap sheet is mile long and dates back to 2004 when he was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole for second degree, first degree attempt, personal use of dangerous or weapon, and inflict great bodily injury per CDC spokesperson. Now, you know the people have started with the Rock Nation theories. Rock Nation has been at the center of a lot of things lately, you know. They feel like Rock Nation is responsible for the DDG situation. They feel like Rock Nation is responsible for trying to take Tory Lanez out. I don't know. I just know, like I stated in that video, Tory Lanez was not supposed to make that. Okay, and I feel like that was a warning to Tory Lanez. You're not gonna be here to enjoy your 10 years. Whoever the powers may be, I said this too when he first went to prison, I don't think he's gonna survive those 10 years. I don't think he is gonna make it on the other side of those 10 years to tell the story. That was just the first attack of many to come. And I told TMZ, I feel like next time y'all do this article, you're gonna hear the eventual Tory Lanez has been unalive in prison. I hate to say it. Now, Megan fans has been rejoicing about this because, you know, the way that people questioned Megan Thee Stallion when it first happened, they was like, oh, well, maybe Tory just stepped on glass, or maybe he just fell on glass, or maybe we should see the video. What I didn't like was when they was like, Tory need to get up on your good foot. I'm like, that's kind of counter backwards, because ain't that a diss that Nicki did towards Megan? That's a bar that was diss towards Megan. I feel like Megan released hits that she has a lot of bars and hits that they could use. You know, they could say something like, oh, on his JPEG or something, get up on your good foot. It's just kind of counter backward. And it kind of just goes to show just exactly how powerful Bigfoot was. But that's how they felt. Now, the few Tory Lanez fans out there, they feel like he needs to be moved and it's a bigger conspiracy at place. And get this, in a crazy turn of events, breaking news, literally while I'm editing, Kelsey's former bodyguard and the driver of that night when all the stuff happened between Kelsey, Tory, and Megan, now he decides to come forward and say, oh yeah, Tory is not the one that did it. This whole time it was Kelsey, and I just cannot stand to see another innocent man just suffer.
A man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. Passenger side is where Ms. Harris was sitting. This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete.
Now, here's the thing. It's like, here we go again, 5 years later, and we're still going around in circles. Here's my thing. I would not be surprised if that is actually what happened. I mean, that would actually explain a lot. That would explain why the residue powder is on Kelsey. That would explain why she went in there immediately asking for immunity. That would also explain why Tory is actually not in jail for, you know, firing or shooting. He's in jail for having an illegal possession while on probation. So, I mean, that would actually explain a lot, but it's just like, we just tired of it. We tired of hearing about this case. Y'all should have said something when y'all was on trial. It's 5 years later. Enough is enough. We over it. And I said it before, the reason why they still talking in circles and why they still covering up stuff, something happened that night or between the three of them that they don't want out. That's gonna look very damning on all three parts. And that's why they still doing this whole, something happened that they don't want out. And you cannot convince me otherwise, but the man is in jail, so I don't know what to tell y'all. But that's a topic for a different day. But Tory just got to duck and dodge while you in there. I don't know, boy. So Cassie took the stand in the Diddy trial. Yeah. Now let me tell you something about the Diddy trial. The Diddy trial has been going on and it's graphic, okay? It's brutal, okay? People have been coming out, taking the stand. Al B. Sure took the stand. He was like, Diddy tried to unalive him. And it's been just very heartbreaking hearing the things that Cassie has to endure while being with Diddy.
This trials mark the first time Ventura and Combs are seeing one another in person since their 2018 split. Federal prosecutors claim Combs used lies, drugs, threats, and violence to coerce his ex-girlfriend into sexual encounters with male prostitutes. Ventura said the alleged sexual encounters typically lasted between 36 to 72 hours, the longest one lasting 4 days. Ventura is currently married and pregnant with her third child. She told the jury today about how the hip-hop mogul controlled her life and their relationship, describing the alleged physical abuse, saying, quote, "He would bash my head, knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me in the head when I was down." Combs has pleaded not guilty to all 5 charges he's facing, including racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, and transportation to engage in prostitution.
TMZ talked about when Cassie took the stand and she said that the freak-offs gave her very painful UTIs. Cassie says there was a very painful physical side effect from all the freak-offs Diddy had her doing with male escorts, urinary tract infection. Singer testified in court Wednesday she would take opioids after the freak-offs to numb herself from the very painful UTIs. Cassie told the jury the UTIs would give her a burning sensation and she got them so often that antibacterial medication stopped working. She testified she would also get sores on her tongue from all the orals she's doing the freak-offs, and she raised the issues of sores in her mouth and UTIs with Diddy. Cassie told the jury she also needed massages, IV fluids, and food to recover from the freak-off. She said she tried to avoid kissing the male escort because it seemed too intimate, but Diddy would tell her to kiss the male sex workers. Cassie testified Diddy even asked her to do a freak-off on her 29th birthday, pulling her out of the Blind Dragon karaoke bar in West Hollywood and using his security team to take her to the freak-off. It was also some other things about what Cassie stated about the freak-offs, how they would last for days. Like, I'm talking about like 3, 4, 5 days. How Diddy would have the men standing over her peeing and urinary, and they would be peeing so much on her that she would be choking from the pee. And it was just a lot of information. So much so that like Diddy's daughter, they just like stormed out of the courtroom as the male stripper detailed having sex with Cassie and Diddy was pleasuring himself. And it's like, I can only imagine like the twins, the daughters, they're sitting here hearing this about their father. It's just a lot. They did a picture of Cassie in the courtroom. You know, she's pregnant, she's crying, and Diddy the whole time is just hearts to her and the family. It's just a mess. Also, you know, I know the younger generation, they don't know how stuff going, but they was like, what's up with all these sketches? Why can't they just take a picture? Well, you know, it's the law. You can't do that, folks. It's 2025. They should take pictures, baby. It's the law. It's the. I don't. Excuse me. One person in particular is not feeling Cassie, and that's none other than Boosie. Boosie did a tweet, and he said, if anything, this should be a domestic abuse case, not a sex trafficking case. She enjoyed the wild sex parties and the extravagant gifts on the back end. All of these years of sex parties, you mean to tell me she didn't enjoy it? I'm convinced she enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure she came during those freak-offs. It was a lifestyle. This was consensual. She was his girlfriend trying to give someone life in prison for this BS. And that started a whole discourse about why didn't she just leave? Now, Diddy and Cassie was together for 10 years, but Cassie has stated that she just felt scared. She said she was 22, she was a people pleaser, and she just didn't know what to do. And I feel like Boosie just needs to stay out this. This is the same Boosie who really needs to be in jail. Ain't this the Boosie who let his kids get fellatio from strippers? No. That's why I always said when Diddy got with Young Miami, I feel like he felt like he got the best of every world. Them previous girls probably was scared. Young Miami was with it all. Young Miami was like, I got it. And she wasn't gonna bat an eye. She was having fun because she's a city girl. But Diddy is still taking a stand. It's taking trial. Like I said, they haven't cross-examined her yet, but it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. Here's my question. Do you think he's gonna get off? Serious question, because somebody was saying, like, you know, with the jury being of 8 men and 4 women, do you think they're gonna try to get him off? What do you think the world would look like if Diddy got off? Like, that's scary to think of. I hope not. And then they're doing the conversation about taking down a black man. I don't know. I don't think it's taking down to the black man. The black man wouldn't be taken down if he didn't have dirt to take him down. You know you have a dynasty, you know you have a dynamic, and you got loose with power. Now you're gonna be held accountable for what you did. It's not a thing of black and white, it's just good and evil. You just happen to be on the evil side. Evil side always has its day. Yeah, but Guys, that's all I have for this Hot Topics episode. What did you guys think? Did y'all vibe with my opinion? Did you not? Put all your thoughts in the comment section below and let me know if y'all want more Hot Topic episodes like this. All right, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.